Hey everyone, Gavin Heggs here from Twisted Moto, coaching in Australia for the last 10 years and Indonesia and a couple of other places along the way. Here today to be able to help you to be able to practice your cornering off the track. So we're going to get into a couple of drills to help you out today with an off the track rut that we've just man-made built with a couple of pieces of equipment. We can use a shovel or your bike, but come along, I'll show you how. A couple of reasons of why you might want to do this. Coming onto the track and being able to get yourself a nice rut might be something that is tricky to be able to accomplish when there's so many other variables on the track, other riders, braking bumps, the speed might be a factor coming into that particular corner. So being able to have yourself a nice area where it's just you and the rut is a really good way to be able to practice your skills, technique, leaning confidence, and being able to power through it. And if you can get yourself in the correct pieces of dirt, then you might be able to put yourself into a nice soft area where it might not hurt to fall over either. So we've got a nice little sandy spot over here, and this is where I've built the rut for today's demonstration. So in this soft dirt, it's nice and easy to be able to manipulate it enough to be able to build yourself something to put your wheels into to form something similar to a rut. The first thing that I did was I rolled through this on a nice angle enough to be able to get what sort of curve angle that I'd like to be able to build the rut, which showed me a good line from my wheels where I could start to dig. So coming through here, I just ran that line a couple of times. To make the rut a little bit deeper, I simply came up to those lines at the very beginning of that, and I had my bike turned on, pulled in the front brake, and let the bike start to drive forward, obviously putting it in gear, and started to accelerate with the front brake being held on. Something that I'd recommend that you make sure that you're comfortable enough to do to start with. Otherwise, alternate option, get a shovel and dig out from that line that you've created with your wheel marks. Looking at it, thinking, how am I going to make sure that I don't fail this? So what you want to do is come into the rut, just making sure that you've got your eyes set on it with some anticipation for accelerating from the start of the rut. And as you come in, start your lean angle, leg nice and high, chest forward, elbows high. Just make sure that you've got the correct amount of throttle on through the turn. Alright, so leg high, toe pointed in, chest forward. Don't stall the bike like that. That's 10 push-ups for the coach. All my riders get 10 push-ups every time they stall the bike. So I came in there right just in second gear there to just make it nice and smooth. So you can see there as I'm leaning in, I start rolling the gas on so I can make sure that as I'm coming through, I don't tip over and fall. So if you start rolling the gas when you start leaning in, the bike will keep carrying forwards. If you come in and you don't roll the gas at the right moment, gravity takes over. So from there, I didn't roll the gas early enough. So my foot was coming down too late into the turn, dropped me down to the floor. My foot hit the ground and stood me back up again. A very big no-no and a very big danger for hurting your knee and twisting your knee and your ankle. I think it's very important to make sure that you roll the gas on at the right point. Hard lesson learnt for some when they do some damage to their knees, but probably a good example there to be able to make sure that you guys don't do that before you do some damage to your knee. That's 20 push-ups. All right, so we'll come in this time, hopefully with a little bit more gas. Make sure I'm set up better, get my knee and leg nice and high out the way. Just make sure I get my lean angles, correct gear selection. Once you've done this a couple of times, you can switch directions. So just there, I was a little bit hesitant. I came through just thinking about my leg then was a little bit hesitant for hitting the ground again, so I sort of dabbed the front brake, which was probably the wrong thing to do. So obviously I haven't done enough repetitions of this before. Got some work to do. Come in this time hopefully a little bit more prepared. Smooth is key. Try to keep off the clutch. That there you probably would have heard I was on the clutch a little bit. So I'll change directions now, try and get a fresh start. Come into it up with second gear now. Woo! See that there? That's what you want to try and avoid. You don't want your foot to hit the ground. There we go. Alright, bit of sand down the back on that last one there. But build yourself a rut at home. Try and make sure that you're practicing both directions. Have some key points that you want to keep in mind when you're coming into that rut, so you have a task that you want to be able to try and achieve. Leg nice and high, rolling the gas on from the beginning of the rut. This is a perfect chance to work on lean angles, trying to get that confidence up to make sure that you're leaning the bike over as you're coming in. And a couple of things to make sure that you don't do. Don't dab the foot. Don't snap the gas too aggressively. Don't use your clutch or your front brake through the turn unless you're trying to just be gentle with it to help you and assist you. Don't rely on it. And most importantly, don't blow the rut out, because you're going to end up building it again anyways and just trying to redo the whole thing again. So keep it nice and smooth and have fun with it. Enjoy. Thanks, guys.